So,
That's
and then McCready's then forced to torch windows with the other flamethrower, and McCready's still half alive and half being assimilated at the time. It's pretty fucked up and nasty looking, but he's sitting there just getting toasted since he's now infected and he's fucked. So now we've got McCready and 3 remaining survivors. It's McCready, Childs, Gary, and Knowles. And Knowles, again, is the black guy who cut him off earlier. He's lucky he didn't kill his ass. McCready, Gary, and Knowles go to check on Blair. Huh?
I said too many black people.
Yep. Well, anyway, McCready, first he tests Knowles. Knowles is cool. Then he tests Childs. And kind of surprisingly, Childs is cool because you kind of get the idea that Childs might be infected just because he was so against McCready. And because Childs was the one saying the test was bullshit the entire time, and then it turned out to work. And by the way, you know the scene, Vic, where Palmer gets tested and, he puts the needle into the blood and it flies up and like it turns into something?
Yeah.
Do you know why that is? Or how they did that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the hand he was holding it with was fake. So that's how they were able to do that whole scene, because his hand was fake, and so they had an entire, fucking functioning, animatronic there. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. I like it.
You have to really watch the movie to see that his hand was fake, too. Anyway, so he tests Childs, and it's funny because Childs starts flipping out. He's like, "Get me the fuck out of here! Get me out of here!" Because he's sitting next to Gary, and Gary's been the other red herring the whole time. So you're thinking Gary's the fucking the thing, and so's Childs. So he wants to get the fuck out of there. Obviously, he don't want to be tied up next to him anymore. So Gary's the last one that gets tested, and again, Gary was the captain of the base and gave up command. Well, he's not infected either. And then we get a humorous scene, one of several humorous scenes in this movie. It's not a funny movie, but you get a couple of funny scenes. And this one is where Gary's like, "I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but if you don't mind, I would like not to spend this whole winter tied to this fucking couch." He gets so pissed.
Yeah.
So, the other scene that I thought was hilarious was right when the movie started, is when McCready's sitting there playing chess, and the computer's like, rook to check chess, whatever the fucking computer says, and he's like, "Oh girl, you're getting soft or whatever," and then she's like, checkmate, like, "You cheat bitch," and just fucking fries it. You wouldn't remember that because you never saw the movie.
Sorry, my earphones went out. Well, I kind of unplugged them, but yes, I got you for. I watched the movie today. First of all, Mr. Not drunk guy, Mr. And I've seen
at least
you before,
I cried.
sir.
Yeah.
You did cry.
I've seen you watch the movie.
You cried, yeah. Have you? You're always
Yeah.
talking to me during movies, man.
Whatever, dude. You're looking at your phone the whole time. Don't give me that shit.
I wasn't today.
So they go and they, all these dudes who aren't infected, they tell Childs to wait behind and watch the camp. So McCready, Gary, and Knowles go to check on Blair because he's the last one left here, and we don't know if he's infected or not. Well, we find out that the shed's empty, and there's a fucking attic underneath, or a tunnel. So they go underneath there, and there's a fucking spacecraft that Blair had been building under the shed, and it had been making it out of parts from the helicopter, piece by piece. It was pretty impressive. So Knowles says that he saw Childs leave his area, and then the power in the whole compound turns off, right? So they pretty much realize that, the thing has to be stopped. They cannot leave here. We're all going to die, but this fucker can't live either. You know what I mean, Vic? And I think this is a cool revelation of the movie.
Yeah, no doubt.
So they realize how pervasive, the infection that is going to fucking travel everywhere, and there's not much chance for survival. So they're going to fucking blow up the base. And the thing, they can tell that the thing's plan at this point, since it can't get away, it's got nothing else to do. It just wants to freeze and get fucking found by a rescue party. Because, if that's one way to survive for it, it didn't want to get burned up. That's the worst thing that can happen. So they start blowing up rooms one by one. And like I said, Childs runs off, and they set fire to the complex with dynamite to prevent the thing from freezing itself again. And when they go down to the basement of the camp to set the TNT charges, Gary gets fucking killed by the infected Blair. Do you remember the scene, Vic, where Blair grabs him by his face and his hand starts going into his face and inside his skin and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Blair's got this look on his face, and Carpenter asked him what he was thinking about, in that scene, the actor, and he said, I was thinking about doing my laundry.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So I guess that's how he achieved the face he was making there. So
wow,
Noah disappears.
That's pretty awesome.
Disappears. He's never seen again. They basically imply that he gets his ass killed because he's black, and he lasted way too long in this movie, especially for two black people to last so long. Carpenter's trying to be different, isn't he?
He is. He's an odd character sometimes, that fella.
So anyway, at this point, we get McCready coming face to face with the huge fucking tentacled Blair thing, which destroys his detonator. So he's kind of fucked at this point. So McCready throws a lighted stick of dynamite at it, and he's like, yeah, fuck you. And I love that part. And both the thing and the building explode, and McCready, of course, survives. He stumbles to a shack that's pretty much fucked. The entire camp's on fire. And, Childs kind of walks up on him with the flamethrower. And, it's kind of cool, too, because neither one of them know if the other is the thing, and they're both ready to kill the other at the first sign. And we pretty much get the idea. See, to me, if I'm not wrong, McCready's definitely not the thing. But I think there's a good possibility, Vic, and we'll get into this, that Childs could be the thing. Might have been taken over when they wandered off earlier, for all we know. Anyway, they both take swigs of the bottle of whiskey. The camera shows a wide shot of the flames, and both men exhausted and just kind of fucking sitting there. Like, Childs is like, so what do we do? And Kurt Russell's like, maybe we just sit here a while, see what happens. And, it ends on a dark note, and I think that was another reason that this movie kind of got shit on at the time, because people weren't used to that. But Carpenter really liked it because he didn't want it to be like a storybook happy ending. He wanted it to be where you don't know what happens. And Vic, if I'm not mistaken, either Childs was the thing or neither one of them was. But either way, they're both going to fucking die.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Because sooner or later,
honestly,
either Childs or... Yeah, well, if neither one of them are, fine, but they're going to have to test each other to find out, you know what I mean? And they don't exactly have a knife and all that, and they're fucking sitting there both freezing and dying. So I'm thinking somebody's got to make a move sooner or later, and if they don't just freeze, one of them's going to kill the other one. So, I mean, it's just kind of
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it.
Vic, because I've been talking for the last almost 40 minutes while you threw in the phone number, I appreciate. You go ahead and... give your thoughts on the movie, and then I'll go.
I hate you. First of all, I'm going to throw out the number again so you can kiss my ass. 310-634-1923 if you want to call in and tell me I suck. Tell Travis he sucks. It don't matter. We're going to have a party on here tonight.
Tonight we both suck, man. I can already tell. We're already big failures tonight.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I can't take the blame because you're the one that's sober. I mean, I'm
sober.
And
you don't know what the hell's going on. So I mean, that's every week.
Like I said, I'm the same as I always am, man. Anyway, first of all, like I said earlier, and like I said about the last movie, they pull off the it's freezing like a motherfucker out here thing. Because watching it, I freeze. And also, if you haven't got it, get the Blu-ray because it looks beautiful. There's no extras, but the movie itself just looks beautiful. It could have been my mom's new TV. She's got a new 4K, so that might be a thing to do with it. But either way, it looks awesome on Blu-ray, so make sure you get that as well. But I think the effects are great. A lot of times I don't know if I want to say slow and interesting, but it doesn't keep my attention. Yet, it's not totally my type of movie. I do like it. I enjoy it a lot. Um, Kurt Russell's awesome because he's awesome in everything. Keith David is one of my favorite black people, or Negroes, or whatever the proper term is. I don't know what they like to be called nowadays. But
Negro Americans.
Negro Americans. He's one of my favorite Negro Americans. Do they got a football team where we don't want to call them that? Like the Negrogens or something? Anyway, but other than that, I'm going to keep it quick and sweet because, like you said earlier, I don't remember much about it because I'm drunk. I've been drinking since 6 or 7 or whenever it was. But overall, I really dig it. I do like it much better than the original, but I mean, hell, it's 50 years later, or 30 years later. Yeah, I know. I was exaggerating there for a little bit, but I knew you'd correct me. That's why I went back and said 30, because I know how you are. But overall, I mean, you can tell it's got a lot of the same elements of the first one, which is a good thing because Carpenter's a master at this. So if he's going to remake something, he's always going to put in, elements out of the first one, even if he changes the whole damn movie. But overall, I'd give it a 3 chainsaws out of 4.
Well, you're fired.
Wow, bruh.
That is a horrible rating from you. You are fucking fired.
I know. It should be a 4 out of 4, right? I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right, so let me get into this. I know I romanticized a little. Hey, 8.2 on IMDb doesn't lie to this time, man. I have to say that is very good IMDb, people. I'm proud of you all.
That's a great rating on IMDb. You're right.
The movie starts off with good music, and it's not Carpenter, I don't believe. I believe Carpenter, because this movie was probably hard to direct. And by the way, John Carpenter feels that this is the best movie he ever made. And he may be right.
No, he's wrong.
No, he may be right. He may be right.
Hey. Big Trouble in Little China.
8.2 on IMDb doesn't lie on this one, sir. Anyway, so
let me look and see what Big Trouble in Little China's at. You go ahead and keep talking.
Kurt Russell was great. Keith David was great. I think all the actors were great. They made the choice not to have women in this because they thought it would be more tense without the idea that there might be a romantic relationship. And I think it was because you just had a bunch of dudes who were just fucking nervous and scared. And there was a level of tension that was involved here that I think was hard to replicate. The effects were awesome. Rob Bottin, this is like everybody's wet dream as far as fucking effects movies. It was amazing. It was shot awesome. I know Vic says it's slow. I don't really agree. Like, now that I've seen it 50 times, I used to think it was slow, but, like, it's more interesting to me than slow because every time I watch this movie, I think about something new about it. Like, is this person really, what is, okay, so let's say the blood test does work, but maybe it only works on Palmer because he's been the thing longer. What about the people, maybe they just changed and they haven't been completely assimilated? Did it, maybe Childs had already been assimilated. Who knows? That was just some of my thoughts on the movie. There's just lots of things that come up with that. And then I think about the fact that it's different from, the original and things like that. I could go on and on about this fucking movie. I love this movie. It is a high 4 out of 4 chainsaws, or 4 machetes for me. Vic, it should be 4 out of 4 chainsaws for you, sir. But
I know what it should be.
And Vic, I told you I was having a debate in my mind, and the debate I've been having is whether I like this movie better than They Live. And I don't know that I can say that I do because They Live's easier to watch over and over again, especially for any season. But, like, the thing is it's a perfect movie. I don't think that this movie could be any better. Like, I seriously believe that. I think there's things and elements of it that, sometimes I question why they do it, and I'm like, it's probably better because they did it this way, or they did it better this way. And I just think the fucking movie's great. The mystery of the Norwegian camp was cool, which, Vic, I'm telling you, in the prequel, we're going to get into that. Let's see. I don't know, man. I just think it's a fucking perfect movie. I think all the actors are great. I think the music's great. I think the effects are great. I really have no complaints about anything whatsoever. And Vic, I talked about before, there's a short story out there by this guy, and I apologize, I don't remember his name, but it's called The Things.